أنا بشكركم وبشكر فخامة الرئيس مرة تانية وبرحب بيه في بلده مصر، وشكرا، واسمحوا لي أعطي الكلمة لفخامة الرئيس فليتفضل.
His Excellency President Sisi and the ministers who are here from Egypt, on behalf of our delegation, we thank you for inviting us to have this dialogue. I have not been here for a long time. I was here when we had a conference in Sharm el-Sheikh. It was some time ago. First of all, Misri. Misri in our language means many gardens. So whenever we read it, we say, oh, these are talking about gardens. If it's one garden, it is Musiri, Musiri. If there are many, Siri. This is our language. Uganda and the Great Lakes are linked to Egypt by the Nile from ancient time immemorial. Politically, we started getting close to Egypt after 1952, when NASA took leadership in Egypt. Before that, we didn't have much political contact with Egypt. But NASA was a Pan-Africanist, the Pan-Africanist orientation. So he worked with our leaders. He worked with Julius Nyerere, with Kwame Nkrumah, with Modibo Keita, with many. And Egypt, under NASA, supported the anti-colonial movement in Southern Africa, including Uganda. Even the Uganda National Congress, one of our parties, had an office here in Cairo. There was an Egyptian minister, Mohammed Fayek, who was in charge of those efforts. Now, when we came into government, I started working with the leaders, Field Marshal Mubarak, Boutros Ghali, and we were discussing these issues. On the issue of the Nile, what I've discussed with His Excellency was that we should have, maybe the problem has been the approach. Because the approach from Egypt has been our historical rights. The agreements you had with the British, 19 that, 19. And then, so then the other people say, but how about us? How about us? But if we broaden the discussion, that's what I was advising His Excellency. And I'm glad he has listened, and I will talk to the others. I was saying the global needs of all the Nile countries are four: prosperity for all, number one. But within the prosperity, we need electricity for all. We need irrigation for all. And we need, of course, water for drinking. So if we put this in the documents, instead of the other approach of we and them, then we shall see for the most scientific ways of how this can be done. And from what I was discussing with some of the ministers, I think the problem is not as big as it looks. It could be the approach. It could be the approach. Now, the prosperity will also come from business. Egypt has got a big advantage. you are on the Mediterranean. And Uganda is linked with Egypt by the Nile. Now people say Uganda is landlocked. But Uganda is not landlocked. At one time I was saying that Uganda is Bashir locked. Uganda is not landlocked. We have got a waterway to the Mediterranean. You can come by water and by rail from Uganda up to Alexandria, because there is the Nile. And Nile is navigable most of the way. During the time of the British, we would go by boat from Uganda to Alexandria. But the political problems in the Sudan are the ones which blocked the route. So we are not landlocked. We are at one time I was saying Bashir locked, but now I don't know who is blocking us. Burhan and Hemeti. If there was no political conflict in Sudan, we could have a water rail link from Uganda to Alexandria, because the Nile is navigable most of the way. So I'm very happy to discuss with His Excellency. I will also discuss with the other leaders about the Nile. But bilaterally, we have got a very good relationship with Egypt under His Excellency. They supported us with the foot and mouth disease vaccines for the cow. And His Excellency has agreed to build a factory in Uganda for foot and mouth vaccine. I'm very happy with that.